Hey man, can I get a little help here with these grievous wounds?
Why are you asking me?
Well, you're the cleric, aren't you?
I'm not that kind of cleric.
Oh. Welcome to Nerdarchy. I'm Nerdarchist Dave, and today I'm hanging out with this nerd.
Nerdarchist Ted.
Do you want practical D&D content you can drop right in your game?
If the answer is yes, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and attune to that notification bell.
We had a lot of success with our D&D 5e Feats video where we kind of like did different rogue builds just using feats, not worrying about anything else. And what we did with that video is we tackled it from the idea that there are 3 different pillars of the Dungeons & Dragons game for 5e: combat, exploration, and social. So we built a different build for each one, or several in some cases.
There are so many awesome feat choices that are out there, and I know some people are like, oh, but mechanically it's better to go with the stat bump, but feats offer a lot of fun and interesting ideas that, give your character new options. So people really enjoy doing them. So if you're using the optional rules in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons for the feats, since so many people really enjoyed those videos, we said, well, let's jump onto another class and kind of do the same thing.
Yes, and this time we're talking about the cleric, and that was actually one of the ones that was requested. Now, one of the things we did kind of discover was because while there are a bunch of feats, but there aren't at the same time, right? So I think if we did a similar build as we did to the rogue, it would look very much like that. And that would be really boring.
Absolutely. And from another perspective, each character class is going to handle the pillars very differently. Each class progresses really differently. And while the rogue has, all the different subclasses, when you get into the gods, the domain choices are through the roof. So you really can play a cleric dealing with any aspect of the game.
Yeah, at this point, Cleric and Wizard, they have the most different subclasses. So what we did is we came up with several different archetypes for the Cleric, and we're going to use feats to kind of fill those out.
So before we dive into that, since we're talking about, deities, gods, let's actually, get into, the being behind this video.
The being, or sponsor as the case may be, the almighty dollar, is D&D Beyond. We want to thank them for sponsoring this video, making it so much easier for us to find the data that we need. It's an awesome D&D database, essentially, but it's more than that. It's got a character builder. It's got a place where you can build your campaign. It also has tons of free content over there, both videos and articles.
Yeah, it is a spectacular resource for D&D players as well as GMs. All the different ways that you can use D&D Beyond. Why don't you share some love for the sponsors by putting a comment down below what's your favorite option or what's your favorite tool over on D&D Beyond.
So we broke down our clerics into archetypes, and we came up with 3.
All right, so what kind of things are we looking at?
All right, so I think we have a battle cleric, we have the scholarly kind of wizardly cleric, and then we also have our physician cleric, the healer's cleric, if you would.
Absolutely. Now you could really look back at that rogue feat video, and if you want to use the trickery domain, I'm certainly that you're going to find some feat options that are going to build out that type of character as well. So what are we looking at for the battle cleric?
There are 4 different feats that I think would be super useful for creating this type of cleric. Heavy Armor Master is a great feat.
Absolutely.
Resilient Constitution, great feat. Warcaster is an amazing feat. And I also thought Shield Master would also be a great feat as well.
All right, so the Battle Cleric, this is obviously going to be your war domain. This is the guy or gal who's going to be on the front lines, doing the fighting. They're going to be up there swinging their melee weapon and using their spells, maybe to do a little bit of damage here and there, but it's primarily, I'm just healing, but I want to get in the thick of it. I want to beat stuff up.
Right, or maybe you're not worried about healing at all right? So one of the things that, for this cleric in particular, I would recommend is having Inflict Wounds as one, on your list. And, whether you have Cure Wounds or not, that's completely up to you. But I think Inflict is a must. And that is why I definitely wanted to take Warcaster, and I had Inflict in mind. Now, there's other spells you can use that with, But, that Warcaster is going to give you advantage on Constitution saving throws in order to maintain concentration. It is going to allow you to use a spell that targets one individual for attacks of opportunity.
And Inflict is going to do far more damage than whatever melee swing you're doing.
And then the third benefit is the fact that your somatic components you can do with a weapon or shield in hand. This actually works the best for a cleric because you can literally have your spell focus, be on your shield. So you don't have to worry about having a hand free. So this is super helpful.
Obviously, heavy armor masters, that's going to, give you a little bit of DR, get those boosted hit points, closer in line to the frontline fighter that you want to be.
Heavy Armor Master is what we consider a half feat because you still get a bonus to your scores, but it's not the full plus 2 or the 2 plus 1s. It's 1 plus 1. It's just the strength, but you're a battle cleric, so that's going to be helpful. And like you said, you're going to get that damage reduction, which is great.
Absolutely.
Shield Master, the reason why I decided Shield Master should definitely be on the list is it's going to make up for potentially a low dexterity when it comes to saving throws. You're going to be able to use your proficient or your shield bonus, not your proficiency bonus, but your shield bonus to those saving throws that target you. It gives you a small form of evasion if you do make your saving throws. And then as a bonus action, you can always perform the shove action. So this will give you a little battlefield control as well.
So all around, solid choices for that frontline cleric who likes to be in the thick of things.
Absolutely. Resilient, again, is another half feat. You're going to get bonus to Constitution. Specifically, you want to take Con for this one because that's also going to help you with those concentration saving throws.
And, it's never a bad thing to be proficient in the con save.
Exactly. So with that, moving on to the Scholar Cleric.
Right, now this is one that touches specific to the character that I've been playing. Although we've made some interesting choices here. They might not all be on Relion's list, but they're definitely solid picks. So let's dive into it.
All right. So the concept behind your Scholar Cleric is maybe you worship a deity of magic, maybe you worship a deity of knowledge. But so the idea is this cleric is probably going to be less concerned with healing and administering aid to the masses, or actually getting into the thick of it. Their quest is for knowledge.
This clearly lines up well with the knowledge domain, and with that you're going to get those nice happy expertises in knowledge, history, and arcana.
With that, our picks are Keen Mind, Linguist, and also Ritual Caster Wizard.
All right, so there's a lot of fun things there. Linguist, obviously, if you're going to be out, researching things, come on, you're out there. You're not just sitting in a library. You're going to be talking to people, and therefore you need to know languages. And linguist is going to be a way to get you there.
Well, not only that too. What if you're researching and reading things in other languages? So it's not even just the spoken word, but the written word as well. You're also going to be able to create ciphers. My opinion is if you can create ciphers, then you're going to be also better at cracking ciphers. So I feel like that goes really well together. Keen Mind is another one of those half feats we talked about as well.
So that's going to give you the stat bump. That's also going to give you the ability to recall things that you've seen or read. Perfect, feat for someone who's out there trying to research.
And then finally, Ritual Caster for Wizards. Having that ritual book, I think that's super useful in the sense that you're going to get access to a lot of those utility spells that a wizard gets. And then also you don't have to worry about preparing them for the day on your list if you have them in your book.
Absolutely. So, ideal choices, detect magic and identify. These are ones that you're going to want to be able to have on that ready list. And if you got detect magic in your ritual book, as you said, you don't need to prepare as a cleric.
Right, and comprehend languages, I think, is a huge one as well. Again, I believe cleric gets access to this, but it's so much easier if you just have it in your book.
I totally agree. So next we're going to go into the physician cleric. Now, obviously, this is the one who's the most concerned with, staunching and healing wounds. They're going to be, probably this is your ideal life cleric.
Yeah, I mean, two of the feature choices here are basically ways of healing without casting spells.
Absolutely. So we're going to look at healer, inspiring leader, and this is an odd choice, but we'll explain it, mobile.
All right, so let's start with the odd one first, just because I think that one's kind of fun. And the idea is having more movement and being able to get around the battlefield is going to allow you to administer to your allies and get more healing out there faster. And not only that, if you need to get away from someone to get to somebody to heal them, instead of disengaging, you can just attack them. And then use your mobile feat in order to move away. It won't draw the attack of opportunity. Now, if there is a lot of debris on the battlefield or difficult terrain, if you use the dash action, you will ignore that difficult terrain. So I feel like that's a great choice for the cleric that needs to get around and needs to get to their allies in order to heal them.
Having played many clerics over the years, there are definitely times where even just the standard 30 speed just doesn't cover, because you've got monks, you've got barbarians, and when they get into the thick of it, they're moving faster than you are, so you can't quite get there to either target your allies with a healing spell, or even possibly sometimes get close enough even for healing word. So mobile is going to allow you to get around the battlefield that much easier, that much faster, and thus allowing you to administer that aid to your allies.
Now, I feel like the healing cleric, the heal bot, is going to be more likable and probably wants a higher charisma score than maybe some of our other clerics. So that kind of brings us to the inspiring leader, which is going to allow you to basically give a rousing speech and give your allies temporary hit points. The only thing better than having to heal your allies and being able to do it is having them have those temporary hit points so you don't even have to worry about it.
So that's one of the ways that you're essentially giving out free hit points. You get healing done without actually having to use any of your spell slots. And if inspiring a leader isn't enough, there's another choice for giving out free hit points. But as opposed to giving out speeches, you're just going to have to spend some gold.
The healer feat itself is actually great. It lets you use the healing kit, and you basically use the uses from the healing kit to actually give hit points back. If you actually use it to to stabilize someone, and you have this feat, you actually bring them to 1 hit point, which is phenomenal. Especially, if you're running low on spells or you don't have you don't have a lot of actions. It's a great option for a cleric. You have 2 allies that are down. Maybe you can heal and word another one and then use your action with the healer kit in order to get them back up. So it just gives you more things that you can do and makes you an all-around better healer.
There we have it. We've got, 3 spectacular, cleric feat trees, if you want to call them that, going with the old 3rd edition terms, for making better clerics.
Hey, did you enjoy this video? Do you enjoy other videos from Nerdarchy and you would like to help out and support us? We have a Patreon for that, which we want to thank all of our patrons. We're also creating products over there that we're giving away every month. Eventually they end up in the store, but if you wait for the store, it's going to cost you more and it takes longer to get. We also have other great benefits of being a patron. There's a link in the description. You can go check out our Patreon on your way to go check out the sponsor D&D Beyond as well.
So after you check out D&D Beyond, after you check out the sponsor, make sure you head down to our comments and let us know what you thought about this video. While you're down there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.